take a look at this again. Bear in mind generalizations, okay? Traditionalists, in terms of rewards, they want stuff they can touch. Plaques are good. Pins are good. We're really good as a network, by the way, at this. Certificates, stuff given to you. Doesn't even have to be public, by the way, for this group. But recognition of what's happened. What do boomers want? Promotions, money, and the recognition for having been there doing the work. Most of our reward systems and awards across the country, not just in community action, are geared to boomer desires. And we've done it here. And it's very cool. People like to be recognized for what they did. Vicki, where are you? You know, hearing your words was incredibly inspiring. Hearing the folks who community action has helped. And they have something to hang up. And that is really important. And it's important to everybody, by the way, but this generation, more than others, the boomers really want that. Gen Xers, money, yes, but time away from work. Because we got a life going on, and we generally need more time to attend to that than we do money. But money's good too. People say thank you with words. Companies say thank you with money. Time off, things that go with your job. Right? So that's how to help a Gen Xer feel rewarded. Millennials, again, I mentioned, I cannot emphasize enough, time off, flexibility, but it's got to be right now. It's got to be instant. Penny and I were having a discussion in the lunch line the other day, talking about millennials and what they needed. Take advantage of this, really and truly. You got a generation of kids, some of whom, and I'm not a morning person either, cannot make it in the door at 8 o'clock, and it's going to drive a baby boomer nuts. Come on, how many of you? I see laughter from boomers out there. I can actually see you if I'm under the light. Yeah? Makes you crazy, right? Why can't you be here at 8 o'clock? Well, you know, I stopped and got a latte, and I did this, and I did that. And, no, I wandered in. I'm here now. What do you need? And it's not a work ethic, because they will stay later. Turn this to your advantage. Expand your client service hours. You don't make it in early, you're not a morning person? Cool. Your schedule's now 10 to 6, and we'll have extended client hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Make it work for you. Truly and honestly, if it is not absolutely imperative that somebody be in the chair at 8, answering the phone for the agency, somebody's got to be there at 8. There's no question about it, whatever time you open. So don't hire somebody who's going to stop for lattes all the time. Okay? Hire somebody who values that, or make it clear that that is the job, that's the understanding, and they will be disciplined if it doesn't work. It'll work fine. But otherwise, take advantage. Work with the strengths. And that's really the key to this whole thing. How to acknowledge them. What do they want to be acknowledged for? Traditionalists want to be acknowledged for their loyalty and their experience, their time and place, their wisdom. Boomers, traditionally, all right, that's sort of a generational pun. You can feel free to laugh. Okay, thank you. Skills, hard work, and time served. This is where we get that 5-year congratulations card, 15-year congratulations card, 40 years in the network, and let's hear it for the group. Pam, I'm just going to pick on you because I know you so well. That was important to you, wasn't it? I'm sorry. See? Baby boomers, they know it all. They don't have to listen to the presentation. It's important to be recognized, though. And to hear that. And we all say, oh, no, it's okay, don't recognize me. But the reality is it does feel good to be recognized. It totally does. And let's face it, there aren't always a lot of other things in our work that necessarily give us that kind of feedback, that kind of affirmation. But boomers really want that. Speed and accuracy is what Gen Xers want to be done. They did that really fast and really well. Thanks. Cool, can I go now? Yeah, I did my job. Knowledge, creativity, and ideas are what you want to praise your millennials for. Their creativity is boundless if you give them a shot. Hand them a project, don't be too specific about how it needs to get done, and I guarantee you, you will be impressed. Hire well, and they can rock the world. They really can. How to say thanks. Again, in general, many of us like many of these, but if you have to guess, here's how to do it. Traditionalists, it's a handwritten note. Not typed, not emailed, not done in triplicate. It is a handwritten card on your community action, informal stationery or something, saying, thank you so much for coordinating the senior grandparent day, the conference, whatever it is. Really appreciate your time and energy. They will treasure it. For the record, most people do treasure handwritten notes in this day and age. They really show that you thought about it. For a boomer, it is public recognition. Private's good, but public's better. Actions and individuality matter more to Gen Xers, and they matter more depending on where people are in their life, of course. I've got 3 kids who are grown. I need to go pick one up from college. You graduated last week. Cool, I need to go do that. So the thank you for me for getting through grant season without actually killing anybody was take those days. Don't check in. Okay? That was important to me. At a different point, a Gen Xer who might have small kids at home needs to be able to run off to school or do whatever needs happening. Okay? That balance is key. So that flexibility and individuality is important. Thanks to a millennial, please, supervisors, I used to subtitle this presentation, yes, you do have to text. If any of you aren't texting, start. It's important. IMing is still around, but there's different ways to do it now than there used to be, but instant messaging, texting, even just to say, cool and thanks. And by the way, let your millennials call in sick by text or call in late. That's totally cool. You know, they know. You know, you can print it out if you really need to. It's important to be able to communicate with people the way they want to be communicated with. So millennials, pick up the phone occasionally and actually call somebody and let them know you're coming in late. Okay? Talk about that at the end. Communication. For traditionalists, it tends to be face-to-face, personal, and somewhat formal. They may say, call me Joe, but that will be after you've called them Mr. Smith for a while. Okay? It's all right. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Boomers, you guys invented the meeting. Thank you very much for doing that for us. They tend to collaborate. It's still fairly formal, but it's done in groups. We tend to do a lot of things. Leadership team meetings, EDs, how many of you have them? They're important, by the way. I'm not dissing them. Yeah, we have leadership team meetings every couple of weeks typically in my agency. It's important to know what we're all doing, but it's a meeting, it's scheduled, there's an agenda, it's formal. Because we're run, no surprise, by boomers. Okay. A millennial company like Facebook, their meetings might be virtual. They might be dialing in on whatever technology you have in your hand, and you could be anywhere to do it. Boomers typically want you in the room for those. Gen X, we're computer-oriented, communicate directly and honestly. That was a good job, but I'd rather you did it this way. Okay, cool. Don't make me have to read into it. Just be direct, be straight, and I will totally internalize that and move it forward. That's Gen Xers in general want that. Positive, friendly, and electronic. You are going to have to work with your millennials on less than positive communications. That's a little bit tough. They will take it, but you need to be careful about how you do it. For a baby boomer, it's, that was okay, but please do this. For millennials, like, hey, thanks for all the energy, the creativity. You know, I'd like to try it this way next time. And you really do need to try to shape your communications that way. It is important. Work environment. And here's where we see how this has shaped where we are today. Traditional work environments, think about 3M or IBM back in their heyday. Hierarchical, very structured, org charts were sacred, right? To move that forward. Boomers, though, were more team-oriented. I've mentioned those groups. This keeps coming up. But it's still a recognition work environment. Here's your card and your pin for your years of service. Here's your recognition for the conference. By the way, excellent job, Maca, on that. But recognition. Gen Xers, we tend to want it to be fun, casual, pretty individualized in terms of how we want to shape a workplace. This is where you see a lot of the tech companies. For the record, yes, Jobs and Microsoft dude, Gates, were baby boomers, but into this mold. Those workplaces are much more common when they are run by Gen Xers. They tend to be looser, they tend to be flexible, they tend to have pool rooms and playrooms and nap rooms and whatever else it might be. They tend to be looser. Millennials, on the other hand, flexible, collaborative, and positive. That's what they value in a work environment. One of my very favorite cartoons. Knock it off with the generacism. Okay? Quit. It doesn't help. You may feel free to moan in private to your own generation about the failings of the others. Gen Xers tend to both be a little snappy about boomers and a little snappy about millennials because we're feeling the squeeze, right? Millennials are coming up behind us and looking at leadership positions, but boomers aren't retiring the way they were going to prior to the recession, let's face it. A lot of people who wanted to retire can't yet. They're still rebuilding. But we're getting squeezed. But really and truly, value the generations for what they each bring to the table. How many of you are surprised by anything you've heard today? Not many, right? This is stuff you kind of know intuitively. Have you put it together before? I've talked to a couple of folks who really have looked into this thing, and we were talking before I did this today about it. The magic of this is not that you haven't heard it before. The magic is starting to pull it together and think about how this actually can change the dynamics of the relationships in your workplace. So instead of moaning about those people always being on Facebook all that time, put them in charge of your Facebook page. Absolutely, give them a reason to do it. I promise you, all their followers, all their friends, will immediately, you'll see an uptick in your social media because they are LinkedIn everywhere. LinkedIn, by the way, is a good thing too. Twitter, how many are on LinkedIn? See, Facebook for professionals, right? Same deal. Facebook for clients and community, LinkedIn for our own network. And yes, I tweeted during the conference the other day. 3 pictures from Maca, they retweeted. Thank you very much for retweeting. It's important, gets the word out on what we're doing, right? But if we can then value boomers for their ability to organize, call a meeting, get stuff done, right? There's power in those groups, and boomers know how to harness that. So value that. Let's talk just a little bit about numbers. In the workplace, give or take right now, there's only about 7% of traditionalists left, and I think they're all in community action. How many people know a 60, a 70, even 80-year-old director somewhere? Not necessarily in Missouri. Did I say that right? Missouri?
Missouri.
There we go again. I'm getting conflicting advice in this room. Okay. As long as you say New Orleans, we're good. 42% baby boomers. Still a huge force in the workplace, and you still define it. You define our workplaces more than any other generation. And it's up to you, as the power brokers, to shape it so that it's friendly for all the generations together. Because you've got the power. Directors, especially you, board members, you can make this stuff happen. And you will see a change, and a change for the better. 29% Gen X, and that is never going to get bigger. Just like the boomers who are going, but in some cases we don't think fast enough. Gen X is really sitting there at 29, and it's going to continue to shrink. Millennials, on the other hand, are already 22% of the workforce. Already, they are 1/5 of our workforce. Oops. By 2030, I don't know if you can read the graphic, millennials will outnumber boomers by 22 million people. So watch out, because these are the people who will choose your nursing home. Okay? They're your children. They will in fact be choosing where you go someday. So watch out. Be nice to them. It's important. What do people really want though? And this is true for all of us. We want to be appreciated as individuals. We want to have our strengths and our talents noticed. We want to belong to the group, all of us, except Gen Xers who sometimes want to like cower in the corner and not be able to let people in until we've had more coffee. And make that happen. Yeah, you don't want to bother us before caffeine. We're not good at that. Respected by their colleagues. So that means millennials, stop making cracks about the boomers when they can hear you. Boomers, close your office door if you're going to whine about the millennials. Or talk to only those who sympathize with you. Yes, you can bang your head into the wall. Feel free, just do it behind your door. But you really do, all of us, just want to be appreciated. We all need flexibility. How many of you boomers have aging parents? Of the boomers? How many of you have kids or grandkids? Still the boomers. Are you a little sandwich still? Are you still the sandwich generation, trying to cure for everybody? A little bit? Gen Xers are now in the same place. My folks are in their 70s and late 70s. Okay? I have college-age kids. I might have to go at any moment. I need flexibility in my working arrangements to cope. But don't we all? We all have doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, family obligations. We have stuff to do. Community action is better than almost any network at being flexible in terms of personal time. Here, here, yes, applause is merited. We are a great network for people to work in. Really? Don't we think that's enough pictures? Okay. Just checking. Gen Xers actually normally like pictures. I just feel like there's been enough. But at the same time, we all need that flexibility. Our network is good at it. Now what we have to do is get equally good at appreciating what each generation wants. We have that inherent flexibility. We've done a really good job of building a network that cares about each other, cares about people, because what's our community action promise? Changing lives, improving communities, helping people, right? That's what we do. Let's focus just a little bit of that energy on shaping a workplace that actually welcomes all the generations instead of angsting a little bit about it. So really what this means is treat people the way they want to be treated. If you've got a traditional baby boom boss, millennials, this is for you. Email them and ask for a meeting. Don't poke your head in and go, dude. I actually did have to work with one of my post-millennials on this. She went to the executive director and went, dude, I have an idea. I'm like, really? Really? You do know this guy's 65, right? And dude is not cool. Not cool. Now, on the other hand, by the way, did you know, boomers, dude is not male or female? Did you know that? Dude can be anybody now. I'm a dude. I used to think I was a dudette, but now I'm a dude. Who knew, right? Seriously. Baby boomers like meetings, but they like to know about them in advance. They like their calendars done. Email and ask for a meeting. Can I see you today for 20 minutes to discuss X? Boomers, when you want to talk to your millennials, do a favor. Send a quick text down to their office and say, hey, got a sec? Address people the way that they like to be communicated with, and it works. Remember how you were taught as kids, do unto others the way you do unto you? You know the other golden rule, by the way? He who has the gold makes the rules. That would be the grant writer's golden rule. But in this case, it really does hold true to treat people the way they'd like to be treated. If they want to be addressed as Mr. Smith, for heaven's sakes, call them Mr. Smith instead of yo dude. Fair? If, in fact, you're millennial and you want to make points, boomers do not call them dude. They will not believe you unless you're already hopelessly cool. But, you know, hey, Evan, how's it going? How's it going today? Yeah. Easy, right? Easy. Smile. It's okay. We're not. How many of you are heart surgeons? Nobody? How many of you are going to donate a kidney later today? How many of you are worried about the email that's piled up at the office while you've been here? Okay. We are not heart surgeons, nor are we donors the majority of our time. It will still be there later. Take a few minutes and generate that interpersonal charm that community action is so good at doing in the community and with our clients. Spend a little of that in the office too.